Hey everyone, welcome to week 8 of A Year of Angels. We're going to talk about childhood memories today and reflect back on how those angels might have been there for us and we didn't understand or know how to put words to it then, but looking back and knowing what we've learned about angels now, we can see that they really were there for us. I had this experience when I was about 6 years old. I had been having a sleepover in my big sister's room. She had a queen bed and it was like the weekend, so it was fun. I had permission to sleep in her room that night. And I remember waking up and looking at the clock at exactly 6:45 a.m. and just getting out of bed. Nobody else was awake. And I walked to the front of the house, to her window, which was at the front of the house, and just stood there. This is like Glendale, Arizona, and I'm just standing there. So we have just this rambler. That window is very close to the ground, and I'm just staring out a window at nothing. There's absolutely nothing going on outside. It's just early. It's a Saturday morning, and I stand there, and all of a sudden I see a car roll up right in front of our home. A gentleman get out of the car and come to our front door, running through our bushes and everything, and he holds the handle on our front door and starts jerking on it. And I'm just standing there. I'm just like, whatever, this is cool, this is whatever. No fear, not even very curious, just observing. I'm just standing there observing. And he's doing this to the door and really trying hard to get in. And because I can see, I'm like, here's the window I'm looking out of, and the front door is just like right here, so I can just kind of see him doing this. And all of a sudden he looks over and he sees me, and he looks as though he's seen a ghost. And then he just runs, and he runs back to his car, which has been in the middle of the road the whole time. Does not get inside the car through the door. He jumps on the bumper, like imagine the 80s. This is like, I don't know, 1985 or something. He jumps on the back of this big, long, what we call like a boat car, the really big, long ones from that day, jumps on that bumper, and his driver takes him away. Like, he doesn't even get inside the car. He just jumps on the bumper and he's taken away. And I'm watching all of this as calm as can be. No big deal. And I not even so alarmed that I feel like I need to go run and tell my parents, but I think I might have. I don't know. I was just like, Mom and Dad, they're still sleeping. And I was just like, somebody, just telling the whole story. Like, somebody just tried to get into our house. And my mom was like, it's probably the newspaper boy. I was like, I don't think the newspaper boy would do that, Mom. So I feel a little gaslit looking back on it now. But later I was talking with my sister, the one who I had that little sleepover with, in her room, and her friend. And I was explaining what happened. And my sister said that's because I told her what he looked like. He had like this denim jacket. He had dark curly hair, Caucasian. And she said, that's the same guy that tried to get me after school and tried to get me into his car, and had to go inside and tell the principal about him. And so there had already been like an interaction where this guy had tried to come and take my sister. So he wasn't really there for me. He was actually trying to find my sister. And so for years I kind of thought like, oh, he must have thought he got the wrong house because I have, darker hair, blue eyes. She's blonde with green eyes. My face is a little fuller. She's thinner looking. And he just was like, oh, that's not who I was going for. And it freaked him out. My older sister said it was always my big blue eyes that probably scared him off. I don't know. But so then I was like, wow, that's really crazy. And still no fear. I have never ever felt any fear about this story whatsoever. But when I was about 23 years old, I remember telling a friend about this one night, and all of a sudden it hit me. And I wasn't even as familiar with talking about angels back then as I am now, but it hit me. I said, oh my gosh, there was an angel behind me. He saw an angel. That's what it was. That's why he looked like he had seen a ghost, right? He had actually seen an angel, and I was so at peace. My angel got me out of bed, said go to the window, stand at the window, just be there. And it just gives me goosebumps, like right now, just even talking about this, that angel was behind me. He saw that, noticed it, and was like, and never heard of him again, never saw him again, never had another issue. That's so crazy. And then as I have thought about preparing my thoughts for this week, where we're talking about childhood memories, and how our angels have showed up for us, there's other times that I just thought, gosh, that was such a peaceful moment in my childhood, or that moment I had with grandpa, or that moment I had at Christmas time or something. Just when you kind of have some memories that just really pop out that seemed incredibly peaceful to you, those are probably the times when you really were feeling your angels the most. So it'll be interesting this week as you journal. And our question for this week is, what moments in your childhood did you feel the presence of angels? And what advice did they impart to you then and now? So it could be fun just to capture some of those moments and just look back and think about what were the most joyful, what were the most peaceful, when did you feel the most protected, and just kind of jot them down. I don't know, like in my experience, would I say like, oh, did they impart some wisdom to me? No, but they certainly protected me. But there may be some things that come up to you, because protection is its own category. But wisdom and what they're sharing with you and what they then and now, just hold that place that there's been information there for you. They've been there to try to help you. So that this is kind of a travel back in time, but it's going to be so interesting. I just think this could be a very eye-opening week, and so interesting how we look back and go, oh my gosh, read what I've written in here about how to recognize those feelings and just go, oh, that's why that felt incredibly joyful, or that's why that bad thing didn't go the way that it could have, kind of a thing. So yes, have fun with that one, and then join me next week when we talk about relationships and how our angels love to help with relationships. Relationships are so important. Of course, they're there helping us. I'll see you next time.